If you're charging twins or siblings the same price as one baby, you are working 2 to 3 extra hours for free. In this video, I'm going to give you the exact twins and siblings pricing formula, the math behind it, and the script to say it on a call. My name is Rihanna. I'm a certified pediatric sleep consultant, postpartum doula, author of the Sleep Consultant Playbook, and founder of Sleep Pro. This is the all-in-one platform to run your sleep consulting business on. Over the years, I've helped over 500 sleep consultants start, grow, and scale their business. So if you want to have more business training specifically for sleep consultants, hit subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video. Okay, a family with twins reaches out, or maybe a family with 2 kids at different sleep stages, both needing support. You know your standard rate. You know this is going to be more work, but you're not sure how much more or how to say the number without it feeling awkward. So if that's you, you're not alone, trust me, and there's no set formula for multi-child pricing that everyone agrees on. And so this is why most sleep consultants either charge the same as for one child, and so they badly undercharge, or they freeze and they don't quote at all. So in this video, we are gonna fix that. And the first reason this needs its own pricing conversation is simple, because you're not just doubling one baby's work, you're multiplying it in several places. So for one child, you are assessing one sleep history, building one plan, tracking one set of variables throughout the support phase. But for 2 children in the same house, that work multiplies, not doubles. It multiplies in a specific set of places. Think about your intake and your assessment. 2 questionnaires, 2 histories, 2 developmental pictures you have to hold together while you're building the sleep plan. There's also sleep plan complexity, because either you're building one sleep plan that accounts for how the kids affect each other's room sharing, simultaneously wake-ups, noise sensitivity, or you're building 2 separate plans that still have to work for one set of exhausted parents to run at the same time. There's also your consultation time. Normally a call that runs 60 minutes might now end up running for 90 minutes. Then you have the support phase, the messages, more check-ins, more variables, more troubleshooting when one child's progress affects the others. And there's the emotional load. Twin families and families with 2 young kids are often running on less sleep and more stress than the average single child family. So the support they need from you is real and a lot. Now, none of this means that you have to charge double. It means you charge fairly for work that is generally more complex and more time intensive than a single child engagement. So that is the whole premise. Now, let's get specific about what changes depending on the situation. Because not every multi-child situation is the same, and your pricing should reflect that. So if you have twins, they're the same age, often in the same room, and so this is all about synchronization. Do you sync their schedules completely? And if one wakes, how is that going to affect the other? So twins often can share a plan structure the same because they're at the same developmental stage, which is going to save you some planning time. But then for them, the implementation is where it gets hard, because parents doing night training with 2 babies at once, and they need very specific, very detailed guidance. So the support phase tends to be more intensive. If we have close in age siblings, so under 3 years apart, you have 2 different developmental stages, which means different sleep needs, different approaches, and 2 plans that do need to interact. Often there's room sharing, the older one gets woken by the younger one, the naps are not lining up. So often this is more complex to plan than twins, because you don't have a shortcut of a shared stage that they have. So you're building 2 separate plans that still have to coexist in one household. And then there are siblings with a bigger age gap, 3 years or more, and these are often largely separated sleep situations. They may not share a room, their schedules are probably not interfering too much with each other. So depending on the family, this can be handled as 2 mostly separated engagements with light coordination and priced accordingly. So this means twins and close-in age siblings both usually justify for a full add-on rate, but then bigger age gaps often call for a smaller add-on or 2 separate packages. So what I want to show you is 3 different models, and none of them is universally right. The best one really depends on how you've already structured your packages. So model 1 would be the full rate plus a family discount for the second child. So your standard rate for child 1 plus 50 to 70% of that rate for the second child. So what that looks like in an example, let's say your standard package is $400 And then we're going to add another $400 to it, but minus 50 to 70%. So that becomes a package of $600 to $680. And this is the clearest, most commonly used structure, and it's the one that I usually default to as well. Now there's model 2, and this would be a dedicated twins or a dedicated siblings package. So this would be on your services in your website. This is the offer. This is the package. And then what I recommend is roughly 1.5 to 1.75 of your standard rate. And that's going to become the package. So let's say again, if your standard package is $400, so we're going to do it times 1.5 or 1.75 for the single rate package. And that means that it becomes a total of $600 to $700. So this would be a dedicated twins or a dedicated siblings package. And then there's model 3. Model 3 would be 2 separate packages with a family discount. I usually do 20 to 30% discount. So that would mean a $400 package plus a $400 package times 20 to 30% discount, which is like 680 to 720 USD. And this is perfect when the age gap between 2 siblings is more than 3 years, because the work is then more like 2 separate packages, right? It's completely different situations, but you still give them a family discount. So what I usually do is I use this one, model 1, as the default. And only when the age gap is bigger than 3 years, then I go to this package, to model 3, because the 2 children situation is really separate. Then you know your number, but now you have to say it out loud during a sleep assessment call or in a text message. And so here are some suggestions. So on the sleep assessment call, you could say something like, for twins, my standard package covers both children together. You get a full consultation, coordinated sleep plan for both babies, and a complete support phase. My twins package is $600, which is my single child rate of $400 plus $200 for the second child, which reflects the extra planning and coordination that is involved. I'd rather do this properly for both at once than have you come back in 3 months for the second one. Now, it might be that a parent says, yeah, but can I just not have the single child rate for twins? Because it's the same, right? Same age, same room. And then you could say, I completely understand why you're asking this, and I know twins come with double the everything, including the budget pressure. And my twin rate does reflect the genuine difference in the work. There's more in the intake, the plan has to account for how they affect each other, and the support phase involves more check-ins. So the $600 rate is the fairest way that I can do this well for both your children. And don't apologize for the price, don't offer to lower it, don't say, unfortunately, I do need to charge a little bit more, because all these things signal that you don't fully believe that the number is fair. And if you don't believe it, the family will not believe it either. So say it simply, explain it briefly, and let it land. If any questions came up while watching this, drop them in the comments. And now we're going to dive into the 5 most common mistakes that I see sleep consultants make regards to pricing for twins or siblings. Number 1, charging the same for 2 kids as for 1. And usually this is out of not wanting to seem greedy, but it means you're doing more work for the same amount of money, and this is going to build resentment over time. Number 2, charging full double with 0 family consideration, which is technically fair, but often is not really appreciated. Number 3, not having the rate decided before your call. So you're making up a number on the spot or telling them, let me get back to you, which is really killing the momentum. Number 4, treating every multi-child situation the same. Twins in one room are not the same complexity as siblings 4 years apart. Number 5, writing a twins plan of a single child's questionnaire, which means you're missing out the details about how the 2 kids affect each other. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If you don't have a twins or siblings rate written down yet, do it this week. So work backwards from your standard package. Next time a family of twins or siblings is reaching out, you already have the answer. If you want help applying this or anything else to your own sleep consulting business, I host a free live mentorship call every week just for sleep consultants. So use the link in the description to register. I'll send you the Zoom link and my best trainings by email. See you there.